We have reached Game 3 of 4 here on the final day of the 2026 Florida League High School Invitational, the Classic Tournament here at historic Sanford Memorial Stadium in Sanford, Florida. My name is Conrad Volch. Thank you guys for joining us this afternoon. Saw a fun couple of games. About to see a couple more. This is IMG Silver, the Ascenders out of Bradenton, Florida, facing off against the St. Cloud Bulldogs out of St. Cloud. On the mound for IMG is Zon French, who's also going to be batting in the 4-hole as the designated hitter. And leading off for St. Cloud is Nathan Blanco, the shortstop. 2 balls, 2 strikes to start the inning. Nathan Bianco committed to Oglethorpe University after high school. As that pitch drops in, but not in the zone for ball 3. The first time these two squads have played each other since before 2005. St. Cloud has not played an IMG team of any kind, let alone this Silver squad. And that is upstairs for ball 4.
The catcher, Brody Aslan.
One on and nobody out. As Brody Aslan, the catcher, steps to the plate. Outside, ball 1. Outside, ball 2. We've got a score update and a statistic update. Popka takes down Seminole 13-0 at Sperling Sports Complex. Starting pitcher threw a no-hitter for the Blue Darters. Congratulations to Raymond of Apopka. IMG Academy Silver enters this game 9-5 on the year. 2-1 in the tournament. Started things off with a 17-1 win against Seminole, followed by a 7-0 loss to Flagler Palm Coast, and a close 2-1 victory against Western. On the other side for St. Cloud, they entered this tournament 12-0 and started off with a 7-2 win over Seminole and have lost their last 2 games, 5-0 to Flagler Palm Coast and 18-9 against Apopka. Trying to leave this tournament with a 2-2 record in the tournament and get back into the win column at 14-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here for Aslan. And time is called. That's inside, ball 2. Another check over to first. And correction on the pitching name. I believe that's Ryan Brezick on the mound, number 6. And swing and a miss. Strike 3. And this will bring to the plate the first baseman, Jose Alvarado. Well, we'll get the name confirmed for you. Shows Zon French on our it's Zon French today. He's just wearing his number 6 instead of his usual number 9. Outside, ball 1. And man on and 1 out here for St. Cloud. And the runner goes. And it's fair down the first base line. They're going to wave home the runner. The throw, not close. And St. Cloud gets on the board first. As Nathan Bianco comes all the way in from first. So an RBI double for Jose Alvarado. As Hudson Gowan, the right fielder, steps to the plate with 1 away. Outside, ball 1. And that is bobbled by the third baseman. And everybody's safe.
The center fielder,
Alden Lewis steps to home plate. 2 men on, still only 1 out. As that's going to go down as a fielding error for IMG. As the cloud cover hiding the sun momentarily. Down the middle, strike 1. And down the middle for strike 2. Wind is shifted and is now blowing between home plate and first base. It was in right field most of yesterday and the first part of today. As that is skied into foul territory. it just goes over the net. Keeps the count at no balls, 2 strikes. Outside, ball 1. That is hit into right center, and it is going to drop for a base hit. Mishandled in the outfield. They're going to wave home at least one runner, and he'll make it home safe. 2-0 St. Cloud, as Jose Alvarado makes it in from second.
The plate now, designated hitter, Landon Rowe.
As Landon Rowe, the designated hitter, comes to the plate. Still only 1 out, and both runners in scoring position for the Bulldogs. Outside, but in the zone, strike 1. That is fouled off for strike 2. The 0-2 pitch. It's going to drop in for a ball. Rowe hitting .240 this year with 6 hits. 32nd plate appearance of the year. That is hit into center. Caught for out number 2. Both runners have to retreat back to their bases, and it's 2 away.
At the plate, the left fielder, Gennaro Santana.
As Gennaro Santana comes to the plate for the first time. Again, both runners still in scoring position. As Garrett Cruz made a sliding catch out in center field. Outside, strike 1. Upstairs. Evens the count at 1 apiece. I was inside, but just missed the zone. Ball 2. Swing and a miss. Strike two. Swung on, collected by the shortstop, thrown down to first, and that will end the top of the inning. St. Cloud gets two. IMG due up next. Kai Carreras will lead us off for the Ascenders here in the bottom of the first. Shortstop. Outside pitch, ball one. He'll go against Cam Reinke of St. Cloud. Reinke, a .48 ERA pitcher, 3-0 record on the year. This is his 9th appearance of the season as the coach for St. Cloud coming over to fix the comms line on the St. Cloud catcher, Brody Aslin. In very recent, within the last 5 years, catchers now have a comm system with the dugouts, just their own dugout, excuse me. They have an IFB wire that goes into most of them, their right ear. They can receive things from the dugout but cannot talk back. So they get the call, and then they can share it with their hand signal signs to the pitcher. It's like they got it squared away. Carreras hitting .357 this year with 10 hits. 2-1 count to begin the bottom of the first inning. And that goes through the legs of the catcher for ball three. 3-1. It's in for strike two. Full count here for Carreras. And that is foul tipped. Keeping the count at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Will Zyblock, the catcher for IMG, on deck. Another foul. That takes a bounce up to the shortstop. Throw to first. In time. 1 away.
At the plate, the catcher, Will Zyblock.
So Will Zyblock, 341 hitter and 15 hits. Also has a couple triples this year. Comes to the plate. That gets hit into right field, and that will not be caught. Zyblock rounding down to second. Misjudged play in right field. And Zyblock will make it to second as a courtesy runner comes out. This is Jake Reich. Will be running, or no, he won't be running at second. He just went to go get gloves. Reese Rosh takes that first one for a strike. The 0-1. Inside, ball 1. Pitcher Zon French on deck, waiting his turn. Inside, ball 2. That gets hit into right center, and that'll drop for a base hit. Coming around third. Throw to second. Got him. Zyblock able to make it home safely. But Rosh gets caught running to second.
At the plate, the pitcher, Zon French.
That gets hit into deep right. And this time it's caught for out number 3. 2-1 is your score. IMG able to cut into this St. Cloud lead. We'll go to the top of the second here on Varsity Sports Nation. Third baseman Gage Rutledge leads things off here in the top of the second for St. Cloud. Drops in for strike one. Had a couple walks against Apopka yesterday. That 18-9 loss. The 1-1. It's popped high down by first base. And it's caught in foul territory for out number one. So that'll bring up Isaiah Rivera, the second baseman. Isaiah Rivera went 1 for 2 against Apopka with a RBI and a run scored. Wow! Right back to French. And that's out number 2.
And play now, the shortstop, Nathan Bianco.
Probably the easiest out IMG will have all day. As Nathan Bianco comes to the plate with 2 gone. Inside, ball 1. This gets hit into right. Can it go? No, it cannot. That'll end the top of the inning. Very fast-moving top of the second. Highlight play was that hit right back to Zon French. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Still 2-1, St. Cloud. Ellsworth Elston comes to the plate, down 2-1. Wind is in his face. That'll be hit into left. And that'll be a fly out to left field for Elston.
At the plate, the right fielder, Ace Loftus.
So Ace Loftus steps up One away. And that gets hit into shallow center for a base hit. Loftus adding to that batting average, came in .296 before that hit.
Now batting the center fielder, Garrett Cruz.
As Garrett Cruz comes up with one on and one away. Outside pitch, inside the zone. Strike one. Swing and a miss. Strike two. That'll be fouled off. Keeps the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Fouled off again. Cruz staying alive. That pitch gets away. Ball one. And Loftus makes it down to second. And the throw down to first is in time. That'll be a ground out.
At plate, second baseman Alex Feldman.
It's Alex Feldman, second baseman. And a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. As that is fouled off for strike one. Wind now shifting back to left field. Swing and a miss. Strike two. Inside, ball one. That one looked to be framed, but just missed outside. Ball two. Short hopper back to the pitcher. Bobbled, throw to first. Oh, what a missile. made up for the initial bobble as the pitcher. And that'll end the inning. Still 2-1. We'll head to the third here on Varsity Sports Nation. Brody Aslan leads things off for St. Cloud here in the top of the third.
That was just what the doctor ordered for you today.
That is cut off there by the second baseman. And that'll be a ground out to start the inning. So Jose Alvarado, the first baseman, steps up. And an RBI double in his last at bat.
Thank you. All right, appreciate it.
Perfectly down the middle, strike one. Swing and a miss. Strike two. Outside, ball one. Alvarado hitting 333 this year. Picked up his 15th hit. But he will hit that one out. 2 away. There's Hudson Gowan. Reached on an error back in the first inning. Swings and fouls. This is fouled off for strike two. The 0-2. Upstairs, ball one. This will be hit up to the second baseman. Throw to first. Very low throw, but the out counts. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the bottom of the third. Ascenders due up next. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation. Bottom of the third between the Bulldogs and the Ascenders. Batting for the first time tonight, the left fielder Leo Shee, as he swings and misses for strike one. Outside, ball two. Shee batting just at 100, looking for his second hit of the year. His 11th game played for the Silver Ascenders. The 3-1. In the zone, strike two. That gets sent up into the air. It'll be fouled off. Full count for Leo Shee. And Shee will take his base. One aboard. And we go back to the top of the order. Kai Carreras. It's the first walk of the game given up by Cam Reinke of St. Cloud. Drops in for ball one. And we're going to have a meeting at the pitching mound. Be right back. St. Cloud still holding to a 2-1 lead. We're back here on Varsity Sports Nation. Meeting at the mound is over. Same pitcher, the 1-0. Drops in for ball 2. Carreras has shown bunt for the first 2 pitches. Showing bunt again, lays it down. They throw to first. And that's out number 1. The infield, 4 of the infielders all shifted towards third. I guess they were trying to make sure the man at second didn't run, but we play on. That drops in for ball 1 inside. She's still standing at second. This gets up. Second baseman, or shortstop, ropes it to first. That's out number 2. Nathan Bianco laying out. As Reese Rosh comes to the plate with 2 away. Outside, ball 1. That will get skied. Foul. Landed on something. Was probably the roof of the building it landed next to. Wind has slowly built up and gotten stronger throughout the day. Outside, ball 2. This makes it down to the first baseman. Quick bobble, quick toss to the pitcher, and that will end the inning. St. Cloud has only allowed 1 run. They keep it that way. 2-1 is your score. We head to the 4th here on Varsity Sports Nation. Alden Lewis will lead things off for St. Cloud. Here in the top of the fourth, Bulldogs still lead 2-1. First pitch drops in from French, strike one. Lewis had an RBI double back in the first inning. And he'll drop this one into left. They're waving him down to second. And they'll hold him there. All he hits is doubles. And this will bring in Landon Rowe, the designated hitter, with a runner in scoring position. This will be bunted. Pitcher almost made the diving catch. That'll be a base hit. So runners at first and second, nobody out for St. Cloud.
Left fielder Gennaro Santana.
Gennaro Santana trying to push this lead to higher than one run for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs were 12-0 coming into the tournament, have lost 2 of their last 3. Showing bunt, and it just clips the edge of the strike zone for strike one. The 0-1, showing bunt again. Strike two. The 0-2 pitch. Santana watches it, ball one. Swing and foul tipped. Keeps it at 1 ball, 2 strikes. And time is called by the batter. That is fouled off. Keeps it at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout tossed by Zon French. And that'll bring in Gage Rutledge with 2 on and 1 out. Upstairs, ball 1. The 1-0. Just makes it in the zone. Strike one. Down the middle, but too high. Ball two. On deck is the second baseman, Isaiah Rivera. Swing, strike, throw down to third, in time! 2 away. Two and two across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and now 2 outs. With a runner at second. Swing and a miss, goodbye. And that'll end the top of the 4th. St. Cloud was applying pressure. IMG snuffed it out like a candle. Go to the bottom of the 4th, still 2-1 Bulldogs when we return. Starting pitcher Zon French, leads off the Ascenders here in the bottom of the 4th, down 2-1. Pitch comes in outside, ball 1. Reinke still on the mound. Came into this at 0.0 ERA, as that is fouled off for strike 1. Or correction, 0.48 ERA. That makes it in the zone, strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes. Wow, struck him out looking. And that's 1 runner retired.
At the plate, number 23,
Ellsworth Elston. 0 for 1 with a flyout. Trying to tie this game up, or at least give his team a chance to tie it up. He fouls that over towards the St. Cloud dugout. As IMG's coach, Mark Morawski, trots down from third base to collect that ball. Nice little zip back to the catcher as that drops in for strike two. Swung into left, and that should land as a base hit. Elston gets a man aboard for IMG.
The right fielder,
Ace Loftus trying to continue the base loading as he is 1 for 1 with a single. In the zone, strike one. So 0-2 is the count as they check with the infield umpire, and he called that a strike. Swing, not a drop third strike. 2 runners retired. Garrett Cruz with 1 on and 2 away here for the Ascenders. No. It is outside, but strike. Runner goes. Ellsworth will make it safely to second. That was close. A lot of height there for Elston. The 0-2. Popped up into foul territory. As that exits the stadium. No balls, 2 strikes. Ball 1. Hit the catcher's glove so hard, some dust came out. Two and two. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So 3 of the 4 batters faced in this inning hit the strikeout bug. We head to the 5th, still 2-1 St. Cloud. We've reached the top of the fifth. Isaiah Rivera leads off St. Cloud. Excuse me. I think it's fouled off for strike two. In the only at bat that Rivera had was a out right back to the pitcher. And that one sneaks past the pitcher. And that is misfielded up by second base. And Rivera will reach first safely. So we'll return to the top of the order. Nathan Bianco. First pitch, strike one. St. Cloud trying to add to their 2-1 lead. Trying to prevent, or to make it a steeper task for IMG. So we have a check over to first. Saw a bunch of checking in the first inning. Kind of calmed down over the last 3 innings. That gets hit. Second for one, back to first, double play.
And the lady catcher, Brody Aslan.
So Brody Aslan gets to the plate with 2 retired off the recent hit into double play. And that makes it in the zone, strike one. The 0-1. This is hit high into foul territory. And will bounce across the fence. No balls, 2 strikes. Outside, ball 1. Swung back to the pitcher. French bobbles it, able to set his feet. And that will be out number 3. Still 2-1, St. Cloud Ascenders look to tie things up when we return here on Varsity Sports Nation. Alex Feldman trying to get on base here in the bottom of the fifth as the Ascenders still down by a run. Feldman 0 for 1 with a ground out as he tries to lay down the bunt, but it rolls foul. Just 8 combined hits between these two teams. The only scoring has been in the first inning. But as we saw in the Lyman Lake Minneola game last night, crazy things can happen. That's down the middle for strike 2. The 0-2. They say he didn't go, so that'll be ball 1. Sun appears from behind the clouds. Swing. And it's a drop third strike. Catcher was trying to figure out what they were calling. That's why the throw was late. That'll go down as a strikeout. So Leo Shee comes to the plate with 1 away. He reached base in his last time up on a walk. Kai Carreras on deck. It's outside, ball 1. Inside, strike 1. That is foul tipped for strike 2. Pitch evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 2 down here for the Ascenders. And Carreras comes to the plate. 2 away. He's 0 for 2 with a couple ground outs. That is up to the second baseman. Throw to first. That ends the inning. Still 2-1 through 5. We head to the 6th. Starting to ramp up here. We've got a good duel on our hands here at Sanford Memorial Stadium. Top 6, St. Cloud. Oh, this is yacked in the air, but the wind's going to slow it down in center. And it's caught by the left fielder for out number 1. Center fielder lost it in the sun, Garrett Cruz. So Leo Shee, sorry, reading the last name first on accident. Came over from left and caught it. As that is sent into center field as well. And that got lost in the sun. Wow. So same exact spot. Except she wasn't able to get there fast enough from left. That brings Alden Lewis to the plate with 1 on and 1 out. So Alden Lewis, 2 for 2 with a couple doubles. Drops in, strike 1. The 0-1. In the middle, strike 2. This is into right center, and it'll drop for a base hit. They're going to wave home the runner from second, and he gets there safely. It's 3-1 St. Cloud. Well, Lewis didn't get a double this time, but he got another RBI. He's got 2 RBIs, 2 doubles, and a single tonight. As Landon Rowe, the designated hitter, comes to the plate with 1 on and 1 away. Outside, ball 1. Flagler Palm Coast and Lyman High School are in attendance to finish watching this game, as they will be playing for the Florida League Tournament Invitational Championship around 4:30. That is swung on and missed for strike 1. Lyman entered this tournament 2-11 on the season and have gone 3-0 in this tournament. Both them and Flagler Palm Coast have never made it to a tournament championship game since its inception in 2008. And before the game even starts, have already etched their names into the history books. The 1-1. And that'll be a hit by a pitch, as Landon Rowe will jog down to first. Gennaro Santana, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And we'll have a mound meeting for IMG. We'll step aside as St. Cloud etches 1 run. They lead 3-1. Well, the meeting is over, and French is still on the mound. Still got some work to do as he's got runners at first and second. One out. That bunt is laid down. The throw to first will be in time. So 2 runners gone, but 2 on base, both in scoring position. It looks like we're going to have a couple changes. This will be a pinch hitter for St. Cloud. This will be number 21 of Adrian Caradero.
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting number 21, Adrian Caradero.
He's going to bat in place of Gage Rutledge. He hits that into center. 1 run will score. They're going to wave around the second one. And he is safe at the plate. A 2-run RBI single off the first pitch by Caradero. St. Cloud leads 5-1. So they've put up 3 insurance runs this inning. Trying to put this game as far out of reach as they can, since they are the away team on the scoreboard. That's in for ball 1. Isaiah Rivera, 1 for 2 with a single. Pitches in the zone, strike 1. This will be skied into shallow center, and it's caught for out number 3. That'll end the top of the 6th. IMG's got some work to do. They entered the inning down by 1. They exit the inning down by 4. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th as the Ascenders try to make a dent in this Bulldog lead. Will Zyblock will start will be the leadoff man here in the bottom of the 6th for IMG. 1 for 2 with a double. Scored the only run of the game for IMG As he'll send this into shallow right, it'll take a one hop and a base hit. Reese Rosh comes to the plate. And IMG got a lot of work to do. Down 4. They need to get at least 4 runs over the next 2 innings to extend the game. 5 to win it. And that is hit into left. Going to be tricky, but not for the left fielder for St. Cloud. One away. Santana looked like he was dancing around trying to find it, had to run he had to take off to chase it, but was able to go under it and make the catch.
At the plate number 24, Chino Santana.
So Chino Santana comes to the plate for the first time for IMG. He'll be batting in place of Zon French. Check over to first. Extra zip on that throw by Cam Reinke. That is hit into center for a base hit. So Zyblock on second. And Chino Santana on first. Still only one out for IMG. Ellsworth Elston. 2 men on, 1 out here for the Ascenders. Down the middle, strike 1. The 0-1. Outside, ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Elston trying to stretch that into left, trying to get Zyblock home from second. Down low, ball 2. That gets fouled off, keeps the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Outside, ball 3. Fouled off again. Keeps the count full. Elston trying not to hit it into a double play as well, as that is available here for St. Cloud. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 2 away. And we'll have a mound visit for St. Cloud. We'll be right back here on Varsity Sports Nation. Ace Loftus comes to the plate for IMG, still in the bottom of the 6th. 2 away, as we have a new pitcher for St. Cloud. Number 6, started the game as the designated hitter, Landon Rowe. Freshman. 3rd appearance on the mound, 0.0 ERA thus far this season. Outside, ball 1. Ace Loftus has 2 men on, also has 2 out. Curls that one in, but ump says no. Ball 2. Cam Reinke finished the day with 5 2/3 innings pitched. Allowed 5 hits, 1 earned run. The 3-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Count is full. That is swung into left. It's curling, and that'll bring home at least one run. They're going to wave home a second one. Throw down to home, not in time. It's 5-3. Ace Loftus with a 2-run RBI double. Jake Reich entered into the game, the top of this inning in center field. Takes that pitch, strike one. That gets hit into shallow left. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. The tying run is now at first. The go-ahead is at the plate. Alex Feldman.
Plate number 4, Alex Feldman.
Oh for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. In the zone, strike one. It's the first time either of these teams has scored since the first inning. And they have only scored together, not one team scoring and one not. Makes it in the zone for strike two. In the dirt, runner will advance from first to second. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tying run is now at second. Feldman does not have a home run this season. If he could get one here, that would blow the doors off of this game. The 1-2. Bobbles down the line. The throw to first in time. St. Cloud limits the damage. It's a 5-3 game. We'll head to the 7th. Exciting finish coming up when we return on Varsity Sports Nation. Nathan Bianco leads things off for St. Cloud. Here in the top of the 7th. New pitcher as well for IMG. Thomas Jones. Pitch lands in for ball 2. On deck is Brody Aslan. 3 balls, no strikes. Here for Bianco. And that's ball 4. Leadoff walk here for St. Cloud.
At the plate, the catcher, Brody Aslan.
St. Cloud has not been tied or has not surrendered the lead at all. It was 2-1 until the top of the 6th. They led by as much as 4, and then IMG scored 2. And that is how we reached 5-3. Bunt is laid down by Aslan. Throw to first. Gets away! Sneaks down to shallow right, and we've got runners at the corners. And St. Cloud not slowing down at all. Running at first base will be Elijah Richardson.
Elijah Richardson running at first base. At the plate, Jose Alvarado.
Richardson, in just his 2nd game played on the varsity squad, has 1 run scored this season. That gets blasted into right for an RBI single. It's 6-3 St. Cloud. Bianco makes it home. And it's back to a 3-run lead as Gowan steps to the plate. Might see a pitching change here. 6-3 is your score, and here in the top of the 7th. Still in the 7th inning here between IMG and St. Cloud. New pitcher on the mound for IMG. Number 14 of Reese Rosh, who's been on third base all day today, will now move to the pitching mound. Rosh, 2.74 ERA, 1-0 record this year. This is his 8th appearance on the mound. St. Cloud showing bunt. Infield sneaks in. It's laid down perfectly. Throw to first. Gets past the first baseman. They're going to send a runner home from third. It's 7-3 St. Cloud. Elijah Richardson has entered the scorecard, and the lead's back up to 4 for the Bulldogs. Hudson Gowan gets to first base on an error. Runner still at the corners, nobody out. And the runner gets hit. Load the bases. Bases loaded, still nobody out. This brings Landon Rowe.
The pitcher, Landon Rowe.
Recently put on the mound pitcher for St. Cloud. Sneaks in the zone, strike one. Make that 0-2. Outside, ball one. Outside again. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 1 away here for St. Cloud. Gennaro Santana comes to the plate. Still bases loaded here for the Bulldogs. Comes in low, ball one. Once again, final game of the day coming up. about 30 to 35 minutes at the conclusion of this game will be Flagler Palm Coast and Lyman for the Florida League Tournament Invitational Championship game. Low and outside, ball 2. This is swung on, clips off the IMG shortstop, still being bobbled. And it's 8-3, St. Cloud, as Jose Alvarado makes it home.
At the plate, Gage Rutledge.
Gage Rutledge comes to bat, still bases loaded, 1 out for St. Cloud. Down the middle, strike 1. The 0-1. Outside, ball 1. Low and outside, ball 2. Wind has died down slightly here in this game. Still blowing towards home plate. Ball 3. In the dirt, ball 4. It's 9-3. As Hudson Gowan comes in from third. Isaiah Rivera. And we'll have a pitching mound visit by the IMG coaching staff. We'll be right back. Still top 7 here between IMG and St. Cloud. 4 runs scored by the Bulldogs. As I think that got fouled off. Trying to figure out if it was a hit by pitch or a swing. It looked like it caught the very close to the bottom of the bat. All right. It hit no one. Ball 1. Swung on, down to third. Step on third for 1. Throw to first. Mishandled. And that'll put runners at the corners. 2 away now for St. Cloud. So another run comes home on that fielder's choice. It's now 10-3 St. Cloud. They've scored 5 in the top of this inning. Outside, ball 1. Outside, ball 2. Outside, ball 3. Strike 1. That's fouled off for strike 2. That fills the count. Still 2 away here for St. Cloud. Runners go. And it hits off the light pole. Try that 10 times out of 11. Could not do it again. Or 11 times out of 10. Same difference. Ball 4. Bases loaded once more for the Bulldogs. And another mound visit by IMG. We'll take a quick break here on Varsity Sports Nation. We've got a pitching change here for IMG. Now on the mound, number 1 of Leo Shee. Originally was in left field. 2 outs here for St. Cloud. Bases still loaded. And that is up to the shortstop. He'll scurry over to second. And that will end the top of the 7th. IMG got some work to do in the bottom of the 7th as they are down 10-3. We'll give you the finish when we return on Varsity Sports Nation. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation. Bottom of the 7th here between IMG Silver and St. Cloud. First pitch, ball 1. Pinch hitting, Joe Wilhelm, as the Senders are down to their final 3 outs. Inside, strike 1. Still on the mound for St. Cloud, Landon Rowe came in with 1 out left in the 6th inning. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. That is foul tipped. Keeps it at 1 ball, 2 strikes. That is swung into foul territory. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fouled again. Same spot. Swing and a miss, strike 3. One player gone here in the bottom of the 7th.
At the plate, shortstop
Kai Carreras. 0 for 2 with a couple ground outs. Trying to get the offense going here for the Ascenders. And he'll get hit by a pitch and go down to first.
Play now, the catcher, Will Zyblock.
As Will Zyblock comes to the plate. 2 for 3. A double and a single. Throw down to first. Wilhelm safe. This is hit into left center. And, oh my goodness, what a catch! Over the shoulder! Wow! Somebody dial Sports Center.
At the plate, number 14, Reese Rush.
Aiden Lewis might have just made the play of the game. If you remember way back in the day, that old picture of the man on the Cleveland Indians with his arms outstretched to catch the ball over his shoulder. Wasn't nearly like that, but it was close. Outside, ball 1. Reese Rosh with 2 away. And correction, that catch was made by Willie Mays when he was on the New York Giants. It was in the 1954 World Series. I don't know why I thought it was the Indians. My fault, guys. That is fouled off. Strike 2. It was against the Indians. Okay, I got that part right. Man, 1954. 72 years ago now. That is wild. It's outside, ball 4. Also an interesting fact. I just found this out. Willie Mays, who, as mentioned earlier, had the catch in the 1954 World Series, has played in this Sanford Memorial Stadium way back in the day. The more you know. Fouled off, strike 1. One ball, one strike. Here for French, who was the starting pitcher for IMG this afternoon. In the zone, strike two. Ascenders with 2 men on and 2 outs. Down to the last few drops of gas. Ball 2. Three balls, 2 strikes. Full count for Zon French. Swung on, just off the tip of the glove of the second baseman. And the bases are now loaded.
At plate number 23,
Ellsworth Elston comes to the plate. Bases loaded, still 2 outs here for the Ascenders. That gets skied into left. And it's caught. That's the game. St. Cloud will salvage their week and finish with 2 wins and 2 losses here in the 2026 Florida League High School Invitational, the Classic Tournament. They move to give you an update on their records for the year. IMG will fall to 9-6. St. Cloud will move to 14-2. Congratulations to both of these teams on a great week of baseball. Well, we've got one more game to go. The championship between Flagler Palm Coast and Lyman High School. It's coming up next in about 30 to 35 minutes. We can't wait to bring you the action here on Varsity Sports Nation here at Sanford Memorial Stadium.